Sup flappers, welcome back to another video, and trust me, I am not someone who likes to kick others when they're down, but I have to make this video due to popular demand, and it's mostly because Xiao is such a popular character. Alright, the DMs just hasn't stopped. They keep thinking I'm somehow up in a vendetta against this character, when in actuality I am simply stating my opinion, and at times I feel like hard facts regarding this unit. And people, before we get any further into the video, don't let me and my opinion dissuade you from getting a character that you really want. But at the same time, understand that there are caveats to currently trying to pick up Xiao, as well as potential, I would even say, gambles you are playing with, because if you're getting him in hopes of him becoming a better character with a dedicated artifact set and maybe even a new weapon, a dedicated support, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, I can't guarantee you any of that. I can only say maybe if miHoYo feels generous and has any resemblance of guilt, they might double back and make this character much better in the future. But for the foreseeable future, we don't know what's gonna happen to Xiao. And speaking of the future, it doesn't look good. Alright, and that's what I want to start with, but there are positives in this video, I swear. So if this is the first time you're on my channel, just understand that I make opinionated videos. This is just my opinion, although I have asked many people for their opinions as well regarding this matter, and most of them share what I'm about to say, as well as other content creators also have been saying this. So it's not just me. But what I do offer that some content creators doesn't is a ton of giveaways. Alright, and when I say I really mean this community, because all these giveaways are sponsored by this community. And if you would like to win, just make sure you're subscribed and tune into my live stream. That's it. You don't have to follow me on Twitch or Twitter. It's just subscribe, tune into my live streams. That happens right here on YouTube. Currently, we're giving away 2 Xiaos, 1 Shenhe, 2 Ganyus, and 1 Zhongli. Who knows? Maybe more to come. And in between, probably some Welcome Moons, BPs here and there. You know the stuff. Or you know the stuff. So let's talk about Xiao. So what's currently going on with Xiao? And nothing much. Nothing much is going on with Xiao. Apart from being a character that has been around since beta, Xiao is definitely old, and I'm not just talking lore-wise. His kit seems so disjointed from the rest of Genshin, to the point where it begs the question, how did miHoYo let him get released in this state? I don't think miHoYo really anticipated where the game was exactly headed towards, and didn't really understand how players were going to shape the meta around certain characters. Case in point being, let's say, how strong Venti was, how strong Xiangling eventually became, how strong Zhongli post buff is. A lot of these things, I think it came from the players' inventions, and miHoYo had to play a reactive role to cut back on some of the advantages a lot of these characters were giving to players. And what ended up happening is Xiao. Okay, Xiao ended up happening. He got caught in between the crossfire between miHoYo's dev team and essentially the rest of the characters here, because Xiao is a character that heavily relies on energy regen. And guess who is another character who essentially is built around energy regen, right? Raiden Shogun. And in the foreseeable future, just like happened to Venti, just like it's happening to Zhongli, energy regen is going to get targeted, and that doesn't bode very well for a character like Xiao, who desperately is clinging on to whatever battery he can to fit into his team. On top of that, while shielders are getting targeted, so they're getting bled out through their shields, Xiao, oftentimes you would prefer him to be shielded, but of course he could be played without a shielder as well. But the thing is, he bleeds HP already, and one has got to ask, right? Like, miHoYo, did you really not take the time to consider there's a character in the game who already bleeds HP every time he uses his ult, and he cannot switch out of his ult without it ending, and you design a mechanic that makes you bleed and it hits through shields? Okay. And now, of course, on top of that, we got the energy suck-in bishops that sucks your energy through shields as well, and it deals more damage to you the less energy you have. And when Xiao uses his burst, he can't get any energy, and he's stuck in his burst state. He can't switch out to another character. Like, bro, what do you want me to say? Do you want me to sit here and be like, nah, Xiao is fine. No, nothing about him is targeted. Nothing about him is disadvantageous to play as. Now, with all that said, do you understand? He is still a top performing character when you put the investment into him. I'm not gonna say he's very cheap to invest into, just slap whatever you got, but hey, currently it is very easy to pair his artifacts, right? You got the 2-piece Viridescent and you get the 2-piece Glad or the 2-piece Shim, right? They both give 18% attack, and it's easy to find a lot of these just laying around and mix and match, and bam, you got yourself a Xiao set. But the question has to be asked, like, if you just have that, and if you don't have his signature weapon, you're going to be maybe getting a BP weapon. If you don't have a BP weapon, you're getting a free-to-play weapon. How much of his power can a free-to-play player essentially draw out on top of all these disadvantageous game design mechanics that miHoYo has set up for Xiao? How easy is it to play this character? And personally, I feel like it's not too easy, man. Like, it's really tough to try to get this character to perform at the level of current 5-star DPS expectations. He doesn't have reactions. He bleeds HP during his burst. His constellation is dysfunctional at best. He doesn't have a dedicated artifact set. His signature weapon is outdated as well. He doesn't have a designated support, and he's caught between all types of meta, being energy recharge, shielding, and healing. And at the end of the day, there is almost nothing miHoYo can do right now to balance the game without it hurting Xiao in a way. He's just a character who's stuck between all the crossfires because it's all a part of his kit. While some things may influence him more than others, at the end of the day, I cannot sit here and lie to you guys saying Xiao is unaffected. He is fine. He performs at the best level. He's like Hu Tao, Ganyu, you know, Xiao's right up there still as one of the Liyue Big Three. He's been hit too many times, people. Did you guys know the Magu Genki has a mechanic which was designed for bow users, by the way, for like Ganyu most specifically, right? Not only does the shield automatically block range shots, did you know that there's a mechanic when you go far enough from the Magu Genki that he ends up doing this animation where he dashes? So get this, when Xiao uses his burst skill and you jump too high, it somehow activates that mechanic. I really don't know what the hell miHoYo was doing with that. Like, how did Xiao end up getting targeted by a mechanic that was never meant to be for him? And the list goes on. Listen, people, if you love this character, get him. I know people who has still used Xiao to clear the abyss with full 36 stars. All right, it's not impossible, it's just difficult. It takes investment and understanding the strength and weaknesses of this character. I know for a lot of people, meta doesn't matter. I know for a lot of people, power doesn't matter. But for people who are asking me, is Xiao still up there with the Liyue Big Three? I do have to say he's starting to fall off a little bit, and it's not because of him. It's because of all the other changes miHoYo has been putting into the game, which inadvertently has made Xiao a little weaker. All right, with that said, his C6 still very powerful, but realistically, how many people watching this video is going to get Xiao to C6? Probably half a person. Now, we've reached the end of the video. Please let me know what you guys think. If you guys strongly disagree with what I'm saying, feel free to comment below. I don't know. I feel like I've tried this character. I've invested in this character, and I can't justify investing anymore. I spent a rough amount of resin on all of my characters. Usually it's somewhere between 2,500 to 3,500 resin, and most of them perform similarly, and Xiao is the only one who I would have to dump in another, I don't know, 4,000 resin just to make him a bit better than the rest of my characters. All right, if you reached this part of the video, thank you guys so much. Comment down below pink toothbrush. Hey, that's what it has to be today. All right, and hope to see you guys in my live stream later. I'm gonna do a 24-hour live stream, so feel free to tune in. I'm probably gonna pass out by the end of it, but we'll see how that goes. All right, till then, urge you all to stay safe and peace.